Welcome to the Learn and Talk English podcast.
It is so great to be here with you all today.
In this channel, Learn and Talk English, we are providing high-quality educational material to help you master the language step by step.
Exactly, step by step. Because learning a language, well, it takes time, right?
It really does. And today, we are going to take our time. We are focusing on a very specific, a very common situation.
Oh, yes. A situation that makes almost everyone nervous.
Right, the job interview. And specifically, the very first question they ask you in a job interview.
The scariest instruction in the English language, I mean, it really is, tell me about yourself.
Yes, tell me about yourself. Did you know that hiring managers often make a firm decision about a candidate in the very first 90 seconds?
90 seconds, that is incredibly fast.
It is. So those first 90 seconds, those first few sentences you say, they are just so crucial.
They absolutely change the atmosphere in the room. That single prompt is, it's essentially the gateway to your entire future with that company.
Right. And because this is an educational lesson designed specifically for English learners, we are going to pace our conversation carefully today.
Yes, we're going to speak very clearly. We will talk slowly.
We want to use natural but accessible vocabulary. We respect that you are intelligent professionals. You simply want to translate your existing skills into a new language.
Exactly. You already have the skills. We just want to help you understand what to say and, well, the psychology behind why it works.
And we will also pause at key moments today. If you are listening in your car, or maybe on a flight, or just sitting at your desk, we really want you to practice speaking out loud with us.
Yes, please do. Repeating the sentences when we ask you to, I mean, that is the absolute best way to build muscle memory for your English pronunciation.
So let's break down the psychology of this opening question. When a hiring manager sits across from you and says, "Tell me about yourself," they aren't actually asking for a summary of your entire life, are they?
Oh, not at all. No, that's the first major misunderstanding we really need to correct today.
Right, because people start talking about where they were born or their pets.
Yes, exactly. To understand what the employer really wants, we need to completely shift how we view the interview process.
Okay, how so?
Well, an interview is not an exam. It is not a test with a strict set of right and wrong answers. An interview is, it's a story, and you are the author.
A story. I like that. So the prompt, "Tell me about yourself," is just the first page of that story.
That's a perfect way to put it. The employer doesn't want a dry list of facts. They are trying to understand your professional identity.
They want to know who you are at work.
Right. What you value and how your specific personality will, solve their current business problems.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
But if the interview is a story, well, before we can build paragraphs and chapters, we need the raw materials.
Yes, we need the right vocabulary.
Exactly. In English, the adjectives you choose to describe yourself, they act as the building blocks of your professional identity.
They really do. So let's start by analyzing the most powerful words you can use.
Okay, let's start with the category that employers obsess over: work ethic.
Oh, work ethic is everything. It describes your baseline approach to your job.
Like whether you respect the company's time.
Yes, and whether you take ownership of your tasks. When you introduce yourself, choosing a strong adjective to describe your work ethic is critical.
So what is one of the best words for this?
One of the absolute strongest words you can use is reliable.
Reliable. That is a great word. Let's break that down. Reliable.
Yes, listen to the rhythm of that word. Reliable.
I hear managers use that word constantly.
Mhm.
But what does it actually translate to on a normal Tuesday morning in a busy office?
Well, in a business context, being reliable means you eliminate stress for your manager.
Eliminate stress. Managers definitely love that.
They do. It means three very specific things. First, you show up on time, every single time.
Right. Punctuality.
Second, you follow through on the tasks you were given without needing to be, constantly reminded.
You do what you say you will do.
Exactly. And third, you respect the established processes. We have to look at the psychology of a manager here.
Okay, what is the manager thinking?
Well, replacing an employee costs a company a tremendous amount of money and time. If a worker is brilliant, but they are chronically late, they disrupt the entire operation.
So reliability is actually valued even higher than raw talent sometimes.
Very often, yes, because a reliable employee keeps the business moving forward safely.
That makes perfect sense. A brilliant but unpredictable employee is just a liability. So let's practice that word.
Good idea.
Listeners, wherever you are, please pause and repeat this sentence out loud with confidence. Ready? I am a reliable worker.
Let's do that one more time, very slowly. I am a reliable worker.
Excellent. Now let's explore another essential adjective for work ethic.
Another great one is dedicated.
Dedicated. What does that imply to a manager?
Dedicated implies a sense of loyalty and focus. It means you care deeply about the quality of the work you produce.
You aren't just there to collect a paycheck, right?
Exactly. You are willing to give your full energy to see a project through to the end.
I want to add another word to this category that feels very common in modern corporate environments. The word is proactive.
Oh, proactive is a wonderful word.
I see proactive on almost every job description today. But it can sometimes feel like an empty corporate buzzword. What does it actually look like in practice?
It is a fantastic word when it is used correctly. The easiest way to understand proactive is to compare it to its opposite.
Which is reactive.
Right, reactive. Let's use a real-world analogy to make this simple. Imagine a person preparing for a walk outside.
Okay, going for a walk.
A reactive person steps outside, waits for the rain to start pouring down, gets completely soaked, and only then starts looking for an umbrella.
That sounds like a terrible walk.
It is. But a proactive person, they check the weather forecast before they even open the door. They see a chance of rain, and they pack an umbrella in their bag.
Ah, so they anticipate the problem.
Yes. In a business setting, a proactive employee anticipates problems and solves them before they become expensive disasters.
So you don't just sit at your desk waiting for your boss to tell you what to do.
Exactly. You look ahead and you prepare.
That umbrella analogy clarifies it perfectly. Proactive means anticipating the future. Let's transition to a second category of vocabulary.
Yes, let's move from work ethic to attitude.
Right, because if work ethic is how you handle your tasks, attitude is how you handle the people around you.
Exactly. And business is fundamentally about human interaction. You can be the most skilled engineer or accountant in the world, but, well, if your attitude is toxic, no team will want to work with you.
That is so true. So what is a highly effective word to describe a positive attitude?
A great one is easygoing.
Easygoing. That sounds very relaxed.
It does. Easygoing means you are adaptable, calm, and tolerant. You don't let sudden changes or minor frustrations ruin your mood.
That is crucial when things go wrong in the office. Let me offer a contrast to easygoing, though, which I think is equally important depending on the role. The word is focused.
Focused, yes. That is a very strong adjective.
Because while easygoing is great for teamwork, focused is critical for execution.
Yeah.
A focused person has the mental discipline to tune out distractions.
Right, they can concentrate deeply on complex tasks without getting sidetracked. Both of those are incredibly valuable.
Are there any other attitude words that managers really look for?
Another adjective that hiring managers actively look for is enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. Let's say that slowly. Enthusiastic.
Yes. When you are enthusiastic, you display a genuine, intense excitement for the work. And emotions are contagious in an office environment.
Contagious meaning they spread from person to person.
Exactly. An enthusiastic employee brings a kind of positive energy that can elevate the mood of the entire department.
So when you say, I am an enthusiastic team member, you are actually promising the manager that you will make the office a better place to be.
That is exactly what you are promising.
Let's round out our vocabulary with the third category. We have work ethic, we have attitude, and now we need skills.
Yes, skills. These are the adjectives that describe the specific mechanics of how you operate on a daily basis.
What is a mandatory word in this category?
A word you absolutely need is organized.
Organized. Yes, everyone wants an organized employee.
Being organized means you know how to structure your time, you manage your files well, and you keep your physical and digital workspaces in order.
When you're organized, things don't get lost, right? And deadlines aren't missed.
Precisely. And a word that pairs beautifully with organized is methodical.
Methodical. That sounds very scientific.
It does. Methodical means you approach complex problems with a step-by-step logical process. You don't just guess, you follow a system.
And of course, we have to include the classic, detail-oriented.
Oh, detail-oriented is a favorite among recruiters.
What does that really mean in practice?
A detail-oriented person has an eye for the small things. They catch the typo in the contract before it's sent to the client.
Or they notice the slight error in a financial spreadsheet.
Exactly. They protect the company from embarrassing or costly mistakes because they care about the micro-level elements of their work.
Okay, so we have this rich menu of adjectives now. We have reliable, proactive, easygoing, focused, enthusiastic, organized, and detail-oriented.
It is a great list.
But here is where many applicants stumble. If I want to sound like the perfect candidate, What is stopping me from just walking into the interview and dumping all these words on the table?
Oh.
Like, can I just sit down and say, hi, I am a reliable, proactive, organized, enthusiastic, and detail-oriented professional?
You could, but it will almost certainly cost you the job.
Wait, really? Why? I used all the right words.
Because this is one of the most common traps applicants fall into. Let's think of these adjectives like the spices in a complex dish of food.
Okay, spices in a dish.
If you just grab 5 different spices and dump them all into the pot at once, you ruin the meal. It becomes overwhelming and completely tasteless.
That makes sense. It's just too much at once.
In communication, a list of adjectives carries 0 weight. Anyone can claim to be organized. The hiring manager has no reason to believe you just because you said the word.
Right. Talk is cheap, as they say.
Uh-huh.
So, if claiming the adjective isn't enough, how do we actually convince them? We have the spices, but what is the meat of the dish?
The meat is the evidence. You must attach the adjective to a brief, undeniable example. You have to show, you don't just tell.
Can you give some example of how to do that?
Let's take the word resourceful, which means finding clever ways to overcome sudden difficulties.
Okay, resourceful.
If you just say, I am resourceful, the interviewer's brain immediately dismisses it. Instead, you apply the spice to the meat.
How's that sound?
You say, I pride myself on being resourceful. For example, at my last job, a major client requested a completely new presentation with only 1 hour of notice.
Oh, wow. 1 hour.
Right, very stressful. Then you say, instead of panicking, I quickly synthesized data from 3 separate legacy reports and delivered a successful, customized presentation right on time.
Notice the difference there, listeners. The first way is just an empty claim. I am resourceful.
Boring. Unconvincing.
But the second way gives the hiring manager a vivid mental movie of you performing under pressure.
Yes, a mental movie. I love that description.
Let's practice this phrasing. Listeners, we're going to practice claiming an adjective. Please repeat this sentence out loud with us. Ready? I am highly organized and detail-oriented.
Take your time with it. Speak slowly. Let's do it once more. I am highly organized and detail-oriented.
Great job. Now that we have these powerful ingredients and we understand that we need to pair them with evidence, well, we have to talk about the structure.
Structure is vital.
Because you can have the best vocabulary in the world, but if you just start rambling without a clear framework, the interviewer will completely lose the thread.
They will zone out. That brings us to what we consider the ultimate architectural structure for answering the tell me about yourself prompt.
And what is that formula called?
We call it the present, past, future formula. It is a psychological map that keeps your answer tight, relevant, and engaging.
Before we break down the 3 parts of that formula, let's establish the golden rule of this question.
Yes, the golden rule. Never, ever tell your entire life story.
Never. But why? Shouldn't they get to know the real me?
The interviewer's cognitive load is already very high. They are evaluating your language skills, your professional background, and your cultural fit all simultaneously.
So their brain is working very hard already.
Exactly. If you begin your answer by talking about the small town you were born in, or your high school hobbies, or your pet dog, you are forcing them to filter through useless information.
You are wasting their energy.
Right. Keep the narrative strictly focused on your professional self and the specific value you bring to their company today.
So let's map out this present, past, future formula. It starts, obviously, with the present.
Yeah.
The present phase answers the question, who are you today?
Exactly. You begin by stating your current professional title, your current area of study, or the primary skill set you are currently utilizing. You are dropping an anchor in the present moment.
What is a good phrase our English learners can use to start this section?
A highly effective, very professional phrase to begin is simply, I am currently working as.
And if they are a student?
Then they would say, I am currently studying.
Let's have our listeners lock that phrase in. Wherever you are, please repeat out loud, I am currently working as.
Very good. Now, once you have established who you are right now, you transition to the past.
The past phase. This answers the question, what specific experiences built the person sitting in this chair?
That's it. You briefly highlight the education or previous roles that gave you the expertise you have today.
What is a natural bridge phrase for the past section?
A great bridge phrase is, before this, I studied, or previously I worked at.
Let's practice that bridge. Listeners, repeat out loud, before this, I studied.
Perfect. And finally, we arrive at the future.
The future phase. This is where you connect your timeline to their company, right?
Yes, it answers the question, why are you sitting in front of me today? This is where you express your professional goals and your enthusiasm for this specific role.
What is the anchor phrase for the future section?
The best phrase here is, I am excited about this opportunity because...
Let's practice that final piece. Please repeat out loud. I am excited about this opportunity because...
Fantastic. To visualize this entire formula, I really like to use the analogy of a tree.
A tree. Okay, paint that picture for us.
The past represents the roots of the tree. The roots are hidden underground, right? They are your foundation, your early education, and the hard lessons you learned years ago.
I see. And the present.
The present is the thick, sturdy trunk. It is the core of who you are right now, standing strong and visible.
And the future.
The future represents the branches. The branches are reaching up and out, aiming toward the sky, representing how you plan to grow and expand in this new role at their company.
That tree imagery works perfectly. Roots, trunk, branches. But let me push back on the chronological order here for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
The human brain naturally wants to tell stories from the beginning to the end. It feels very intuitive to say, I grew up here, then I went to this college, and now I am doing this.
Yes, that is the instinct.
So why does your formula force the applicant to start with the present instead of the past? Why trunk, roots, branches, instead of roots, trunk, branches?
It comes down to understanding the psychology of the hiring manager in the year 2026. Attention spans are shorter than ever, and managers are incredibly busy.
Right. They probably have 50 other things to do that day.
Exactly. When a manager sits down to interview you, they have a very specific, immediate problem. They have a vacancy on their team that is causing them stress today.
Because work isn't getting done.
Right. If you start your story 15 years in the past, their brain has to work too hard to figure out if you can solve today's problem.
They might just tune out before you even get to the relevant part.
Yes. By starting with the present, you instantly offer them relevance. You say, here is the professional I am today, and here's how I match your current need. You grab their attention immediately.
Ah, I see.
Then, once they're hooked, you quickly reference the past to prove you have a solid foundation.
That is a brilliant psychological insight. You lead with the solution to their immediate pain point.
Exactly.
Now, this present, past, future framework, it sounds incredibly clean if you have a traditional 10-year career path in one industry. But our listeners come from all walks of life.
Yes, they do.
How does, say, a 20-year-old with no formal work experience use this formula without sounding unqualified?
Well, the beauty of this framework is its absolute flexibility. Let's walk through some highly realistic scenarios to demonstrate how you can adapt the formula to fit any background.
I love that. Let's do it.
Let's take your example of a university student or maybe a recent graduate who has never held a full-time corporate job.
Their biggest fear is that the past section of their tree has no roots. They think they have nothing to talk about.
That fear is completely unfounded. For a student, your academic projects, your leadership roles in campus organizations, and your volunteer work, that is your professional experience.
Really, employers value that.
Absolutely. Hiring managers know you are young. They aren't expecting a 10-year resume. They are looking for potential, work ethic, and initiative.
Okay, let's create a scenario. Let's imagine a student majoring in business administration who spent time volunteering at a local charity and who is now interviewing for a customer service role.
Perfect. Do you want to step into the shoes of that student?
I will. Listen closely, everyone, to how the present, past, and future sections flow together seamlessly. I am going to speak slowly.
Take your time.
I'm currently a student at the university studying business administration, where my coursework is heavily focused on interpersonal communication and project management. Before this, I spent 2 years organizing community outreach events for a local charity. That experience required me to coordinate schedules, manage small budgets, and resolve conflicts calmly when things didn't go as planned. I am excited about this customer service position because it allows me to take the communication and problem-solving skills I developed during my volunteer work and apply them directly to helping your clients succeed.
That is a flawless execution. Flawless. Notice what did not happen in that example, listeners.
What didn't happen?
You did not apologize. You never said, I'm sorry, I don't have much experience.
Oh, right. Never apologize for being a beginner.
Exactly. You confidently framed your academic and volunteer history as highly relevant preparation.
It felt very strong to say it that way.
It is strong. Now let's tackle a more complex scenario, the career changer.
The career changer. This is someone making a massive pivot. They spent a decade doing one thing and now they want to do something completely unrelated.
Yes.
The interviewer is going to look at their resume and think, why is an IT professional applying for a job in agriculture?
The secret weapon for the career changer is the concept of transferable skills.
Transferable skills. Let's explain that.
Transferable skills are the fundamental professional abilities that apply to almost any industry. Coding a specific software might not be transferable to a farm.
Right. Cows don't need coding.
Exactly. But managing a complex database, communicating across departments, and optimizing workflows, those are highly transferable.
Because every business needs organization.
Yes. You have to extract the underlying skill from your old job and map it onto the new job. Let's use your exact example. An office-based database manager who wants to transition into modern, data-driven farming operations.
Okay, I will play the career changer this time. Ready?
Go for it.
I am currently looking to transition into the agricultural management sector, bringing a deep commitment to operational efficiency and a passion for sustainable outdoor work. Before this, I spent 5 years managing large-scale data systems for a corporate logistics firm. While the environment was vastly different, that role demanded rigorous attention to detail, the ability to track shifting variables, and a highly methodical approach to solving operational bottlenecks. I am excited about this agricultural role because modern farming is increasingly driven by precise data and scheduling, and I want to leverage my organizational expertise to help optimize your farm's daily yield.
Wow. That completely neutralizes the interviewer's doubt.
It really connects the two different worlds.
It does. You took a perceived weakness, a total lack of farming experience, and you turned it into a unique advantage by focusing on your ability to manage complex logistics.
That is the power of the present, past, future framework. Finally, let's adapt the formula for entry-level service roles.
Yes, service roles. Think of baristas, retail sales assistants, or restaurant servers.
For these roles, the hiring manager isn't looking for someone to optimize a corporate database. They're looking for endurance, personality, and reliability.
Exactly. For service roles, your attitude is your primary hard skill. Let's imagine an applicant interviewing for a role as a server in a high-volume, fast-paced restaurant.
I'll take this one too. Here we go. I am currently an energetic and highly reliable professional who genuinely enjoys working in fast-paced, high-pressure environments. Before this, I helped manage logistics and guest relations for a community center, which required me to juggle multiple requests simultaneously and maintain a calm, welcoming demeanor even when the building was at full capacity. I'm excited about this serving position because I thrive on delivering excellent hospitality, and I am eager to bring my positive energy and adaptability to your restaurant's team.
Perfect. By using words like energetic, reliable, and welcoming, you are speaking the exact language the restaurant manager wants to hear.
It's all about matching their needs.
Let's take a moment for a practical exercise right now. We want you to internalize the rhythm of this structure. We are going to conduct a very brief role play.
Okay, how will we do this?
I will act as the hiring manager, and you will respond as an applicant using the formula. We will keep the pace steady so our listeners can really hear the flow.
Sounds good. I am ready.
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to come into the office today. To get us started, could you please tell me a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm currently working as a client relations specialist, where my primary focus is resolving complex customer issues and ensuring long-term client satisfaction. Before this, I studied communications at the university, which gave me a strong theoretical foundation in active listening and negotiation. I am incredibly excited about this account management position because it represents the perfect opportunity to combine my academic background with my hands-on customer service experience to help your agency expand its client base.
Listeners, notice the clear, undeniable progression in that answer. Present, past, future.
It feels very natural to say, too.
It does. If you use this structure, you will never lose the interviewer's attention. But the tell me about yourself question usually leads directly to a secondary line of questioning.
Oh, yes, it does.
As you tell your story, the interviewer is naturally scanning for your limitations.
And that leads us directly into a topic that terrifies almost everyone, discussing strengths and weaknesses.
It is a very intimidating topic.
It's one thing to confidently state your strengths, but it feels incredibly risky to admit your flaws to someone who is actively deciding whether or not to pay you.
Let's handle strengths first, because even there, people make a lot of mistakes.
Really? How do people mess up talking about what they're good at?
Well, we talked earlier about not just listing adjectives, right? The professional framework for discussing a strength is a simplified version of the STAR method.
The STAR method. Let's explain that acronym.
STAR traditionally stands for situation, task, action, result. But for English learners, we can simplify this to just 2 steps. State the strength, then provide the situational proof.
State the strength. Provide the proof. Give me an example of that in action.
Instead of just saying, I am an excellent communicator, you elevate the statement by anchoring it in reality.
Okay, so what do I say instead?
You say, one of my core strengths is technical communication. For example, in my previous role, our software engineers struggle to explain updates to the sales team.
That's the situation.
Right. Then you provide the proof. I took the initiative to translate the dense engineering logs into a simple 1-page weekly briefing, which completely eliminated the confusion between the 2 departments.
Wow. You haven't just claimed a strength. You've proven it with a real business result.
Exactly. It is undeniably effective.
But let's look at the dark side of this coin. Weaknesses.
Yes. The dreaded weakness question.
When the hiring manager asks, what is your biggest weakness? It just feels like a trap.
I know it does.
If I say I struggle with time management, aren't I just handing them a reason to throw my resume in the trash?
Well, yes, if you leave it at that.
So why shouldn't I just use a fake weakness? Why not just say, oh, I am a perfectionist, or I just care too much about my job?
Please, I am begging you, never say you are a perfectionist.
Why not? It sounds good.
Hiring managers hear that answer a dozen times a week. They know it's a rehearsed evasion. It signals to them that you lack self-awareness, or worse, that you are trying to manipulate them.
Oh, I see. It comes across as dishonest.
Exactly. The truth is, admitting a genuine weakness is not a trap. It is an incredible opportunity to demonstrate emotional intelligence.
But how do you admit a flaw without disqualifying yourself for the job?
The secret is the growth story. You never introduce a weakness without immediately explaining the active steps you are taking to fix it.
You must show trajectory.
Yes. An employee who hides their mistakes will eventually cost a company millions of dollars in covered-up errors. An employee who openly acknowledges their blind spots is coachable and safe.
That makes sense. Let's do an example. Let's say your genuine weakness is public speaking, which is, incredibly common.
Very common. If you just say, I get terrified speaking to crowds, the manager might think you can't handle a simple boardroom presentation.
Exactly. If you stop the sentence there, it's bad.
Right. But here's the growth story version. You say, early in my career, I realized that public speaking and presenting to large groups made me quite anxious, which limited my ability to share my ideas.
So you clearly state the problem.
Then you pivot to the growth. To address this, I proactively joined a local public speaking club and volunteered to run our team's small morning huddles. While I still get a bit nervous, I am now much more confident and capable of delivering clear, structured presentations to the department.
Look at the psychology there. You admitted a very human flaw, but what the manager actually heard was, this applicant identifies their own problems, takes independent action to solve them, and tracks their own progress.
Precisely. You took a negative and used it to prove your proactive work ethic.
It's brilliant. Now, we've spent a great deal of time meticulously crafting the words you will say.
Yes, the vocabulary, the formula, the strategies.
But there is a parallel conversation happening in that interview room. A hidden language that is arguably more powerful than anything you actually say out loud.
You were talking about nonverbal communication.
Yes, body language, vocal tone, eye contact. I've read some fascinating research on this. There is a psychological phenomenon in interviews known as the perceptual gap.
The perceptual gap. It's fascinating.
What exactly is the perceptual gap? Explain it to our listeners.
The perceptual gap refers to the massive disconnect between what job applicants think they're being judged on and what hiring managers are actually observing.
So applicants are focusing on the wrong things.
Often, yes. Applicants put about 95% of their mental energy into memorizing their answers. They are so focused on the words.
Because they are nervous about their English, especially our listeners.
Exactly. But studies reveal that hiring managers assign a disproportionate amount of weight to nonverbal cues.
How much weight?
In recent corporate surveys, managers assigned an 86% importance rating to the symbolic interpretation of an applicant's posture, attire, and eye contact.
86%. That is huge.
Applicants, when surveyed, underestimated this entirely.
So while the applicant is panicking about whether they use the word proactive correctly, the manager is actually deciding their fate based on the fact that the applicant is slouching in their chair and staring at the floor.
That is exactly what happens. Nonverbal communication functions like the background music in a cinema.
Oh, I love this analogy. Tell me more.
When you watch a movie, you aren't always consciously analyzing the musical score, right?
Right, you're just watching the actors.
But if a scene features two people having a normal conversation and the background music is tense and terrifying, you feel a sense of dread.
You think something bad is going to happen.
Yes. But if the music is warm and acoustic, you feel relaxed. In an interview, your posture and your facial expressions are the background music to your words.
So if you look terrified, your words won't save you.
Exactly. A genuine, relaxed smile is the best psychological music you can play. It signals to the interviewer's subconscious that you are not a threat, that you are confident, and that you belong in that room.
But body language is not a universal language. As we teach English learners from all over the globe in this channel, Learn and Talk English, we have to address the reality of cultural differences.
That is a very important point.
Because a gesture that means confidence in one country might mean arrogance in another.
This is a vital nuance for anyone navigating the international business world. The rules of nonverbal engagement shift dramatically across borders.
Let's look at eye contact, for example.
Yes, perfect example. In many Western business cultures like the United States, Canada, the UK, maintaining steady, direct eye contact is the ultimate sign of integrity and self-assurance.
Right? If you look away constantly, a Western manager might assume you're hiding something.
Or that you just lack confidence. However, in various Asian and Middle Eastern corporate cultures, maintaining unbroken eye contact with a senior executive can be interpreted as an aggressive challenge to their authority.
Oh, wow. So it's seen as disrespectful.
Yes. In those contexts, slightly lowering your gaze is a sign of professional respect.
So if an English learner from a culture that values deference is interviewing via video call with an American tech company, how should they adapt?
You must research and adopt the cultural baseline of a company you are interviewing with. If it is a Western-based organization, you need to consciously increase your level of direct eye contact.
You don't need to stare aggressively without blinking, then.
Right, no, don't do that. Just ensure your gaze is lifted and engaged with their face when you are speaking.
And since you mentioned video calls, we have to acknowledge how technology has completely rewired the interview process. Virtual interviews introduce a whole new layer of nonverbal complexity.
They absolutely do. In a virtual interview, you are suddenly responsible for your own lighting, your audio quality, and your internet stability.
It's like being a television producer and an applicant at the same time.
It really is. But the biggest trap of the virtual interview is the illusion of eye contact.
The illusion of eye contact. What do you mean by that?
When you are looking at the interviewer's face on your computer monitor, it feels to you like you are making eye contact.
Because I am looking right at their eyes on the screen.
Exactly. But to the interviewer on the other side, because your webcam is positioned at the top of your screen, it looks like you are staring downward, avoiding their eyes.
Oh, right. Because the camera is higher than the picture on the screen.
Yes. To project confidence virtually, you have to train yourself to speak directly into the tiny camera lens at the top of your device.
Let me pause and advocate for our listeners here.
Please do.
If I am an English learner, my brain is already operating at maximum capacity. I am translating vocabulary. I am remembering the present, past, future formula. I'm trying not to use a fake weakness.
It's a lot to handle.
If you now tell me I have to monitor my posture, force a smile, and stare unblinking into a tiny glass lens, I am going to experience severe cognitive overload. It's simply too much for the brain to process at once.
That is a very fair critique. And cognitive overload is a real danger. The solution is not to try and control 50 different micro-movements.
But what is the solution?
You need to distill your nonverbal strategy into a simple, manageable system. I recommend the rule of 3.
The rule of 3. Okay, write this down, listeners.
Before the interview begins, lock in just 3 physical habits. 1, sit up straight with your shoulders pulled slightly back. This opens your chest and allows you to breathe deeply.
Okay, number 2.
2, keep a pleasant, resting smile on your face.
And number 3.
3, and this is the most critical one for language learners, force yourself to speak slowly.
Speak slowly. Why is that specific instruction so powerful?
When humans experience the adrenaline spike of nervousness, our biological instinct is to rush. We speak quickly to get the painful experience over with.
We just want to finish the sentence and hide.
Exactly. But if you consciously force your pacing to slow down, 2 incredible things happen. First, it triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, naturally lowering your heart rate and calming your anxiety.
So speaking slowly actually makes you feel less nervous physically.
It tells your brain you are safe. Second, Speaking slowly projects massive authority. Think of the most powerful leaders in the world. They do not rush their words, they take their time.
That is very true. They speak with measured pauses.
For an English learner, this slow pace is a secret weapon. It gives your brain the necessary milliseconds to translate complex thoughts from your native language into accurate English vocabulary.
Speaking slowly commands respect and buys you processing time. It's a dual benefit.
It really is.
Now, understanding all of this theory, the vocabulary, the structures, the psychology of body language, it is entirely useless if you don't know how to deploy it on the day of the interview.
Execution is everything.
Let's outline the practical steps our listeners must take to prepare. And more importantly, the catastrophic mistakes they must avoid during their practice sessions.
Okay, let's start with the mistakes.
What is the single biggest trap applicants fall into when preparing their "tell me about yourself" answer?
The absolute worst thing you can do is write out your answer word for word like a movie script and attempt to memorize it.
Why is that so dangerous? Honestly, it seems like a safe way to ensure you don't make any English grammar mistakes.
I understand why people do it, but human memory is fragile under stress. If you memorize a 200-word script and in the middle of the interview, you forget the 45th word,
What happens?
your brain will completely freeze. You will visibly panic trying to find the exact word you wrote down. You won't be able to move forward.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
Furthermore, recited text sounds robotic. It lacks the natural cadence and warmth of human conversation. The interviewer wants to speak to a person, not a tape recorder.
So, if they shouldn't write a full script, what is the alternative? How do they prepare?
You should practice using modular bullet points. Write down just 3 or 4 keywords for each section of the formula.
Give me an example of what that looks like on paper.
For example, your notes might just say present, logistics manager, efficiency, past, engineering degree, project lead, future, operations director, scaling teams.
Just a few words.
Right. By only memorizing the core concepts, you force your brain to organically construct the sentences around those pillars in real time. This guarantees you will sound authentic and conversational.
What is another major mistake to avoid?
Failing to respect the clock, your answer to the opening prompt should not exceed 2 minutes.
2 minutes? That doesn't seem very long.
It isn't, but remember, this is just the introduction. It is the appetizer, not the main course. If you talk for 5 straight minutes, the interviewer will assume you lack the ability to synthesize information concisely, which is a major red flag in a corporate environment.
Okay, keep it modular, keep it under 2 minutes. Is there a behavioral mistake they should watch out for?
Yes, a big one. Never, under any circumstances, complain about a previous employer or manager.
Even if your last boss was genuinely terrible. What if the workplace was completely toxic?
Even then, you must frame your departure positively. This is rooted in the psychology of projection.
Projection, explain that.
If you sit in an interview and fiercely criticize your former boss, the hiring manager immediately thinks, in 2 years, this person is going to be sitting in another interview saying terrible things about me.
Oh, I see. It makes you look like a complainer.
Exactly. Negativity signals a lack of professional maturity.
Oh.
Always pivot to what you learned and why you were seeking positive growth.
That is a life lesson, not just an interview tip. Always protect your professional brand by maintaining a positive narrative.
Definitely.
So let's give our listeners a concrete checklist. What physical actions should they take today, right after this audio finishes, to begin their preparation?
First, grab a piece of paper and map out your bullet points using the present, past, future framework. Don't write sentences, just bullet points.
Okay, got it. Second,
Find a mirror. Stand in front of it and practice delivering your answer out loud. Watch what your face does when you speak.
are you frowning? Do you look terrified?
Exactly. Consciously relax your facial muscles and practice that warm smile. And third, and this is the most uncomfortable but necessary step,
I think I know what you're going to say.
record yourself on your smartphone.
Listening to a recording of your own voice is always a bit painful, I have to admit. But it is an incredibly powerful diagnostic tool.
It is the only way to get objective feedback. When you watch the playback, you can verify your pacing. Are you speaking too fast? Are your English pronunciations clear? Did you hit the 2-minute time limit?
You will spot your own errors immediately.
Yes, and you'll be able to correct them long before you step into the real interview.
I want to add one final piece of advice to that checklist, and it's the simplest biological function we have.
What is that?
Remember to breathe.
Ah, yes. Breathe.
In the moments before the interviewer logs onto the virtual call or before they walk into the physical room, Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth.
Deep breathing floods your brain with oxygen. It actively signals to your nervous system that you are safe. It lowers your cortisol levels and clears your mind.
Never underestimate the mechanical power of a deep breath.
Never.
Well, we have covered an immense amount of ground today. We analyzed the heavy-hitting vocabulary of work ethic, attitude, and skills.
We really broke down those words.
We deconstructed the present, past, future architectural formula. We navigated the treacherous waters of strengths and weaknesses, decoded the silent impact of body language, and mapped out a foolproof practice regimen.
It has been a very full lesson.
As we conclude this comprehensive lesson, what is a final psychological insight you want to leave in the minds of our learners?
I want every listener to deeply internalize this perspective shift. Far too many candidates walk into an interview room feeling like a suspect in a police interrogation.
They are so nervous.
They view the hiring manager as an adversary holding all the power, just waiting for the applicant to fail. You must abandon that mindset.
It's not a test designed to make you fail.
Not at all. An interview is a mutual conversation between two professionals trying to solve a problem. The company has a gap in their capabilities, and you have skills to offer.
You are evaluating their culture and leadership just as intensely as they are evaluating your resume.
Exactly. It is a meeting of equals exploring a potential partnership. And remember, the most intimidating CEO on the planet was once a nervous beginner sitting in a chair, fumbling through their first introduction.
Every professional was once a beginner.
Yes, you have worked hard to build your English proficiency and your professional skills. You absolutely belong in that room.
What a phenomenal way to frame it.
Oh.
It is a partnership discussion, not an interrogation.
That is exactly right.
Listeners, we have a specific call to action for you today. We want you to immediately put this theory into practice.
Yes, practice makes perfect.
Scroll down to the comment section of this platform right now. We want you to draft your introduction using the formula we just taught.
Type it out. Hello, my name is, I am currently Alara.
Let us see how you construct your present, past, and future narrative.
We genuinely look forward to reading your introductions and seeing how you deploy the powerful adjectives we discussed today.
Please remember to subscribe and like this audio and leave those practice comments below. Your active engagement helps us continue to produce these detailed lessons.
It really does help.
You can find much more high-quality educational material just like this on the Learn and Talk English podcast. Thank you so much for investing your time and learning with us today. Keep practicing your English, maintain that confident posture, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And we wish you the absolute best of luck in your continued professional journey.